Well, oh boy, this episode. So, wow. Where do I even begin here? This pretty much solidifies that Zoom is 100 times more scarier than it proves that Zoom is probably the scariest thing ever. I like how you don't see Zoom until the last third act of the episode, but for the most part, everyone's talking about how terrifying and how much damage Zoom has done to everyone's life. And this image right here is actually kind of apt of using right here because, yeah, Zoom beats the piss out of Barry. I mean, bad. I don't even think, Reverse Flash beat him that bad because what he did to Barry at the end of this episode. But I'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, so this episode is all about, trying to use Linda Park to pretend to be Dr. Light so she could be, used as bait to lure Zoom and then, they could use the speed dampener on him. We also discover that Harrison Wells' daughter is Jesse Quick. Yeah. I was actually, when they said Jesse, I wasn't thinking oh, it's just going to be an original character. He's like, my Jesse Quick. And I'm like, hold up, y'all. Oh, Lord, I have fun. But yeah, I also screamed at Barry through most of this episode of being, oh my god, Barry, this could easily go bad. This could easily go bad. Thankfully, nothing happened when they pulled the trap. I initially thought, when I gave a prediction in the episode review, in the last episode review, I basically thought that Zoom was going to come in, he was going to figure out, quick as a whip, that something was up, and then kill Linda. And what was going to happen next was Earth 2 Linda was going to assume her role. So, yeah. And also, I'm so surprised that everyone was so willing, except for Joe, who was once again the voice of reason, telling him that this is the most horrible idea in the history of bad ideas you have had, because we don't know what Zoom is capable of. All we know is, we don't know who he is, we don't know what his power set is, and we're just going to go along with what this Earth 2 Wells says. Anyway, also, I'm also not, hip on everyone going, did you vibe me? It just sounds dirty. Oh, you vibed him. It just sounds dirty, Just sounds dirty to me. Anyway, what else in this episode? I am warming up more and more to Patty. She's just as goofy as Barry is, and like I said in the previous episode review, it's not like with Felicity and Oliver, where Felicity says something dumb and stupid, and Oliver's just whatever. With Patty, when she says something goofy or just a tad, off, Barry's just there with that same kind of energy. But here, Barry is really starting to, Barry and her are really playing off that energy. But also, we have, can I just talk about something real quick? How Barry's just unmasking, himself to everybody. It's almost like Spider-Man 2 and 3, really. It's starting to come off like that. It really is. Yeah. But did I hate this episode? Aside from a few nitpicks, no, because holy crap, that third act was, oh my god. I was literally I can't even form words. I really can't. Because, honestly, when Zoom showed up, Tony Todd knows how to make himself threatening with just his voice alone. And actually, I'm starting to really go deeper into that theory that fan theory that Zoom is Earth 2 Barry. I'm really starting to think that's a thing because, let me explain. There's a moment in here that, there's two moments. Technically three, but I'm going to talk about the main two. When Zoom beats the living piss out of Barry, and you hear the moment where he just goes Bane on Barry, I swear to God, Zoom in here is pretty much Bane with super speed. That is the best way you could say Zoom is in this season. Zoom's pretty much Bane with super speed. Because not only does he beat him down, he breaks his back, then humiliates him. Now let me talk about why I'm starting to really warm up on the theory of Earth 2 Barry being Zoom. Because there's a moment in here where Zoom runs into the media office with Barry in hand, like he's dragging him while he's running around, and he runs into the media station, the whatever you call it, like newspaper room or whatever, runs in there, and I'm thinking to myself, oh great, he's going to unmask Barry in front of everybody, and I think that while he's giving his speech, and I'm just waiting for the moment for him to just unmask Barry. That doesn't happen. Instead, he runs off to the police station where Joe and Patty are. It's like he knows where all of Barry's friends are. He knows exactly where they are, even though he's never met them in person. At least on his Earth. That makes me think that maybe it is Earth 2 Barry. And, the Earth 2 Wells talked about how he created him. And yeah, Zoom knew exactly where to go. When that initial scene happened, we were all thinking, oh, he's going to unmask him. But no. And you look back, and I rewound that scene to look back on it, it's almost like he's talking directly to Iris. And then when he runs into the police station to give that speech, it's like he's almost talking directly to Joe and Patty. And then when he runs back into Star Labs, he bypasses all the security, mind you. But yeah, he literally just runs in and tells them, Wells sent me this to come fight me, and he's like, this is just absolutely pathetic. So yeah, with just that, those two scenes alone, and how, he could have unmasked him in either place, but he didn't. It's almost like he's proclaiming to not just, the city, to Central City, but also to everyone around, Barry's close friends and family, that I beat the Flash, and I know who you are. I know exactly who you are, and if I wanted to, I could come after you if I really, really thought about it. Man, he's just, again, he's Bane with super speed. That's the best way to describe, Zoom in the DCCW universe. So, yeah, I'm starting to think this is Earth, I'm really starting to really buy into that theory that this is Earth 2 Barry, just from those two scenes. And how, close he is with Wells. Because we don't know if Wells knew an Earth 2 Barry, but you do get the sense that he did from just some scenes here and there. But yeah, I was also kind of wondering if Jay was going to run in at the last second and get his spine back to. Well, I know he didn't have his super speed, but at least try something to save Barry. But yeah, he can't. Barry can't feel his legs, and I'm like, holy shit! That moment where he's like, I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs. I was like, oh my god. And then, next week, we get the return of Grodd. Oh, that's going to be so cool. Yay, more Grodd. But yeah, this episode was really good. Not a lot happens, but again, this final scene and, the Zoom speech to, Central City and to Barry's friends and family just really made up for it. Also, I got a bit of a laugh because we did hear about, the green, the Hood unmasked, and apparently, and I know a certain friend of mine here on YouTube, proposed a theory that maybe Earth 2 Green Arrow is Tommy Merlin. Unfortunately, Lydia, I'm so sorry. You're completely wrong on that. It's Robert Queen. Robert Queen in this universe is Green Arrow. I guess they were looking at Flashpoint and then were reading Flashpoint Batman and like, let's go with that idea, making the father the superhero and the son that dies. No, really, if anyone else was thinking of Flashpoint Batman, you weren't the only one. So anyway, guys, you guys tell me, what did you all think of this episode? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? And are you starting to believe that, Zoom is Earth 2 Barry? Really curious to know what you guys have to say about this one. And yeah, once again, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.